Hello, IPE 350, and welcome to week 6 of the class. I'm going to explain this assignment 7, to you. This is a big assignment, and we are going to be asking a lot of you, so I want to go over in detail. You may see me looking off to the side like that, and that is because I have my screen behind me, and I'm going to make sure that I follow the template of your wiki exactly. So I'm telling you exactly what you need to do for this assignment. You have until October 5th to finish this assignment. I highly recommend that you take or partake of the revision, which is this Friday. So spend a week doing the best that you can, submit it for revision so that we can give you some feedback, and then you can do even better the second week. Okay, so part 1 of your group wiki is titled Me and You. The me part is everyone identifying their role to Meredith's care. The you part is as you read your other group members' contributions, you learn what they do. So you're seeing the you for other people in healthcare. So I want each of you to go in. There is a table where you put your name and then you contribute your role. Be as specific as possible. What skills do you perform on Meredith? What kind of health care are you providing for her? And where are you providing that? So if anyone else in your group shares the same role as you, and this is going to come into play with all of our nursing students predominantly, how are you different from them? So if someone else in your group identifies as an RN, what makes you different as an RN? Did you care for Meredith in another part of her care? Maybe you were in the cancer center while they're caring for her post-op. If you also want to be in the hospital setting, maybe you're on a different unit, or maybe you're on a different shift. You're both in the same unit, but one works days, one works nights. You have to be different. Everyone has to be unique. Okay? Once everyone has filled in their roles as specifically as possible, move to part 2. Part 2 is just a you. We're learning about other healthcare professionals. Everyone by now has contributed the other professionals that they identified. I want the whole group to go through and narrow that down to just 2 or 3 people. Try to make those 2 professionals make sense for your group. So if you have 3 nurses and an EMS and a healthcare manager, who else? What other professionals would make sense that those people would somehow collaborate with, would work with realistically in Meredith's case? Every healthcare professional that does not get used, delete them. We don't want them on the wiki anymore. So we're going to say goodbye to a lot of healthcare professionals, but we're going to really dive in deep with the ones we do choose. Okay? Once you've picked the ones you want to keep, try to be as specific as possible with their care as well. Where are they caring for Meredith? What specifically are they doing to care for Meredith? Okay? Then you can move to part 3, which is the patient. How is Meredith involved in her own care? Don't forget, Meredith is also an RN, so she has some healthcare background. Who's going to be talking to Meredith, communicating with her? What specifically is being communicated to her? When does she have a chance to make some decisions? This is really important in interprofessionalism. Our interprofessional competencies for the world have recently involved how important patients are to the interprofessional team and how they have frequently been overlooked. So I want you guys to really think about, how's Meredith involved in her care? What decisions does she get to make? Is there any chance that she could overrule any one particular healthcare member if they provide a care that she doesn't agree with? Maybe throw that in. Okay? And then part 4 is the we. This is where you get a chance to share, okay, this is our team. Here's some other professionals that are not our specific group members, but we've identified a physician and someone else, whoever you've identified to be part of our group. We've considered how Meredith is involved in our group. And so now this is what the care actually looks like. This is how we communicate with each other. This is how we address overlap. Sometimes this is best done in kind of a narrative. So maybe your group decides to tell a story. First, Meredith sees group member John, and he provides this, and then he communicates this information to group member Sally, who then carries on her care this way. And you, in telling the story, hit on how everyone's communicating with each other and maybe some professional overlaps. Don't forget, professional overlap means two different healthcare professionals that contribute the same care but have to decide who gets to do it and why that person is better at that time than the other person. A great example is a respiratory therapist will probably teach a patient to use a spirometer. A nurse also knows how to teach a patient to use a spirometer. When is it best for the respiratory therapist to do it over the nurse, or the nurse to do it over the respiratory therapist? You have to make those decisions and display that you understand how to collaborate and work through professional overlap. Okay? So get your groups together to work through these things. You can divide up the work any way you want. I would like the group leaders to make the wiki look cohesive. Wikis can get a little messy, and while you're working through things, that is okay. But at the very end, someone should go through and make sure all the fonts are the same, there's not unneeded spaces, and that it looks like a document that has been well thought out and well collaborated on. Okay? If any of your teams have decided to work on Google Docs to do this and then move it into the wiki, that is fine. You can copy and paste it into Google Docs, work through it, and then paste it back into your group wiki. Whenever you submit for feedback and revision, you will see that your instructor will just type right into your wiki in red text. So you can see where we have concerns, the feedback we're giving you specifically where. So that's how you're going to see the feedback is red text from your instructor. If you have any questions, we are all here to help you. It might be a little bit tricky at first, but once you get going, you'll see that this is a really great collaborative tool, and we're really going to be able to see how you can demonstrate that you can meet these competencies and skills. Okay, we look forward to seeing what you do, and have a great week. Happy learning.